Okay, this video is going to go over the bottom of page 4 on the chapter 6 notes. And so this is going to be tips for writing code containing loops. And so when you are going to write code for writing or write a program that's going to contain loops, I suggest you write the code for the program without the loop structure. Write the code first without the loop structure in it. And so example would be this. Here's the code that I've been giving you, that where you could actually compile and run this, and it would do something. It would actually work once. Let's see if we can test that out. So it goes roll a pair of dice, enter a result, and thank you for playing. So it does it one time through. You write the code first without the loop structure, then determine which lines need to be repeated. And so the purpose of this program is to have the person roll the dice 3 times and then have it enter the amount. And so you can see that lines 12 and 13 here are going to need to be repeated. Surround the group of lines that needs to be repeated with opening and closing braces. And so we would go into, let's see, we would go here and here. We would surround it with opening and closing braces. So we know that's going to be repeated. And then add your loop control variable, or your loop control variable declaration and assignment with the other variable declarations. So add your loop control variable declaration and with this assignment with your other variable declarations. And so you would then do something like this, where you add a loop control variable, name it count or something of that nature, where now it's declared and it's assigned to be 1 or 0, however you plan to do it. Then add the while statement on the line before the opening curly braces, because that's where it belongs, is before the opening curly brace. So you add the while statement, and so there we go. And we've been practicing how to determine how to code it so it does the right number of loops. And so that's, you want to make sure you compare line 8 and line 10 in this case, and make sure that, okay, it's going to go through and count as 1, when it's 2, when it's 3. So that's 3 times. And 4 would make it stop. And then add the line of code that updates the loop control variable. So add the line of code that updates the loop control variable within the loop body. It's usually at the end of the loop. All right, so typically you're going to go here, the loop control variable updated is going to be something like count plus plus or count equals count plus 1, something like that. It's going to add 1 to it. It's going to increment it, and it goes within the loop body, typically at the end, before it goes back to the while statement. The update, however, can go anywhere in the loop body according to the compiler. So the update can go anywhere in the loop body according to the compiler. The compiler will not give you an error because you put it in the wrong place. However, in some cases, an incorrect placement within the loop body can cause an output error. So it can cause an output error. Now, in here, it would not be an issue, but there are sometimes if you put the count at the beginning here, it would cause an issue. So you just have to test the program. So that's why we need to test the program whenever we are writing code, because we want to make sure the output is correct. Note, sometimes working through the problem manually or with a calculator or acting it out is helpful. In other words, do it manually first and then write the code. That will instruct the computer to do what you just did manually. We've practiced this, we've modeled this in class, and if you're struggling with writing the code for a particular program, I would suggest you actually do the program without the computer and do it manually. In other words, how would you do the problem without a computer? And once you've done that and you see what your steps are, now you then go back and write the program that would do the exact same steps you did. You need to know the purpose for each variable or each memory location. It's important that you know what each variable's purpose is. So in this case, this stores the amount of each roll, and then this is going to keep track of the number of times it goes through the loop. So it is important to understand those things. The general rule, last one, is that the loop control variable should have no other purpose in the program except to control the loop or track the number of loop iterations. The loop control variable can have more than one purpose, but it's tricky. And so we demonstrated this up here in this problem here in class, where we said, okay, this is storing the roll amount, and this is also keeping track of the or controlling the loop. And we went through this in class and saw how this did not work. It doesn't work right. In fact, this made it so most of the time it's only going to go through the loop once and then stop. And so the general rule is do not have a loop control variable that does something else as well in the program. Until you get to know and understand the code better, then you can use it. You'll know when to use it, when not to use that. All right, so that is the end of this video for the bottom of page 4 of your Chapter 6 notes.